a few things, a few things about what just happened. Got up at maybe 4 o'clock, got on my prop pally. I'm like, you know what? I'll check out LFR. I mean, as a tank, I went in hoping I could tank, hoping I would be on Immersius to do the fight that I've only seen Pallies die on, to do that one fight that seems like it's a fucking chore. I go in on protectors and they've already wiped once. And I'm thinking, wiping on protectors is a little unheard of nowadays. But okay. Then people immediately start talking about boosted 90s and saying how, well, I have more HP than that Pally tank. He took the tank. He's no good. He's a boosted 90. I told him, like, yeah, I'm a boosted 90, but it's okay. I've got experience on all of these fights on my main character. I've even experienced 3 of them heroic. I've tanked this. I know how to tank it. If you guys were all gone, I could probably solo this. It's LFR fucking easy mode. None of the mechanics matter in LFR. No, we're not at that point anymore, guys. I think Blizzard has it right. It's going to take at least the 6 months until the next expansion for people to understand what the fuck to do again. So on Protectors, I tanked. I was a little iffy on it because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to like die immediately or whatever. No, no. The only thing that I had to do that I found even a little difficult to handle, that required any amount of thought. Oh my god, Fist of Death, Hand of Protection, and then hover my key, like hover my little cursor over the Hand of Protection buff, and then as soon as Vengeful Strikes is done, pop the buff and taunt. That's all I had to do. Just pop it, get rid of the buff, and taunt. And make sure that I had aggro again. That's all I had to do. I could have also bubbled at that point, but I thought that would have been a waste. Yeah, I know. Bad thought on my part. When it came to taking Misery and Gloom, I took both of them. When it came to He's Desperate Measure phase, this is how you know that people are fucking stupid. They decide to pass the debuff that gets rid of armor, which everyone is like, oh, don't give that to the tanks. Well, you can. I mean, in normal and everything, you can. On heroic, you should never pass it to a tank. So I kept getting the debuff. I kept getting it. And it came to the point where I just decided to stop. I decided to stop passing the debuff. What did I do? I popped the Devotion Aura and then Divine Shield or Divine Light, whatever the one that reduces magic damage. And I survived. I survived perfectly fine. I did not die that fight. That fight went really, 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 really long. Like honestly, I feel like I think the highest DPS at that point was 170k. From then on, the highest DPS was 150 until we eventually got to the end of it where we had 2 people doing over 150. I think one was 180 on a warrior and the other one was 200 on a hunter. And the entire time, I had Mr. 30k warlock and Mr. 20k warrior decided to keep just harassing me over the fact that I didn't have super awesome gear. And one of them went so far as to say, haha, boosted 90 trying to tank endgame. I flat out told him, like, this is not endgame. This is LFR. It is in no way endgame. This is tourist mode. You can get out right now. It's fine. You compare this to even Flex. If you compare it to how Flex is even, there's a giant difference. So LFR is in no way endgame. It's just a way right now for people to gear up. But luckily in Warlords, it won't be needed, so I will never see the inside of an LFR instance. Never. Not even for the tier bonus. No 4-piece is worth it. No 4-piece at all. But really quick on that subject, the fact that there's going to be an alternate gearing route means that those of you who do LFR aren't going to be able to be carried. You're going to lose half of the group that knows what they're doing. Because let's face it, right now, at the beginning of 5.4, you had people going in there that were already like 522 gear, just going in there to see the new bosses quickly and be like, yeah, well, guys, it's okay, you can do this fight. Those were the people that would set up how to do it. Now you've just got the supposed raid leaders in LFR, and it's really difficult to actually get people to do something. I think in the Norshen encounter, it took 10 to 15 seconds for someone to pop a B-res on the other tank. And I did not notice this. The other tank had taunted off of me at one point and managed to hold aggro for all of 3 seconds against me. Yeah. And it was because on Norshen I had 6 stacks. Didn't even notice. My health wasn't really moving. We get into the little ad phase. I just made sure to keep my shield on cooldown for that interrupt. Just keep it ready for that interrupt. It's fine. It wasn't a problem at all. I was still getting harassed about it. Like, oh, your gear is so bad. Kick the tank and hope for another one with better gear. I mean, it's just me and the other tank, and the other tank's like, these guys are fucking terrible. I'm like, yeah. So we killed the protectors. I got a belt. We killed Norshin. I got nothing. We got to Shah. And at this point, the DPS was absolutely terrible. I think it was 130k on our first couple attempts. It was the highest I saw. And then we got the new people. We were finally able to kick that stupid Warlock Chaos. Oh my god, he was the only person that was retarded enough to say, I wish Destrolox had good single target DPS. Really? Really? I mean, you don't count the fact that you have a spell that is always a crit and hits really, really hard. You don't count that as good single target DPS. Okay, whatever floats your boat. Then, so we got there, and I know, I've only got about a 500 gear score at that point, and the other tank, he's a little more geared than me, a little bit, and he asks if I wanted to solo tank it. Because we had such crap DPS that he thought, okay, so I expected him to have an off spec. Turns out he did not have an off spec. He just turned Righteous Fury off. So when it came to tanking, essentially, I wasn't really solo tanking because there was another prop alley who just didn't turn on anything. Like he didn't taunt. So I was taking all of the hits. I never had to worry about aggro. I had like 500% aggro all the time. And the only problem I ever had on any of the pulls was the damage at the beginning, because I didn't have a cooldown up when I pulled for the first 2 or 3 times. We actually wiped, I think, 4 times altogether before we got 2 or 3 good players that were able to carry the rest. And that is sad. And that is why I say avoid LFR for at least a month. You want to avoid LFR at this point for at least a month, because you're getting people that don't know it and we're just told, oh yeah, you can just go to Timeless Isle and farm all this gear and then you'll be able to do the new content. Like, yay! No. It's terrible. And you might think, oh, well, they only get 496 gear from that, so they're not going to have weapons or anything. Yeah, that's why they have Celestials, and that's why they have the Celestials. That's perfectly it. And I proved that it takes skill on a pally to die. It takes skill to die. You have to try to die. Because I was standing there trying to wipe it on Norushin when over half the group was dead. And I had aggro on everything. I still was not dying. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't like I was just standing there not pressing anything, but I wasn't pressing any heals, I wasn't pressing any cooldowns. Couldn't die. I could not die. Eventually I did. Eventually, I think I was being kept up by a disc priest. Ugh. So just avoid LFR. If you have a boosted 90, at least know what you're doing. Don't judge people if they're boosted 90. That's pathetic. I mean, you can say, oh, boosted 90 is so bad. Oh my god. Dude, I was on a boosted 90 pally and I just tanked. I want to go into Flex Immersius or normal Immersius and freaking tank. Why? Because it's fun. Because it's really fun. It is fun to tank on a pally. I even had someone say that Brewmaster tanking is easy. If you think Brewmaster tanking is easy in any way, shape, or form, you are doing it wrong because you have to manage stagger. Unlike every other, tank class where they have 3 or 4 cooldowns that stops damage, a Brewmaster has no cooldown that stops damage. It doesn't stop damage. We just smooth it out. That's all it is. We smooth out damage. Stagger, you may think, oh, well, I've got so much mastery, I have 50% stagger. Yeah, cool. It's not that you're only taking 50% of the damage of the attack. You're still taking the other 50%. It's just over time, which means you want to clear stagger. You want to make sure that you always have chi, which is why I personally use chi brew. Nothing is better than being like, oh my god, I've got red stagger, I need to hurry up and clear this. Chi brew clear. That's it. It's so easy to do something so simple, and it's not really an easy spec to play. That's the thing. It's not an easy spec to play at all. But people conceive it as easy. Yes, but that's why people probably rolled monks, because they heard, oh, it's easy. And there were a bunch of people that rolled paladins. And we're told, oh, ret pallies, they're face roll. They're not. They're not face roll. You actually bring so much utility that if you're just face rolling a ret pally, you are doing a giant disservice to your group. Because not only are ret pallies having devotion aura and hand of protection and everything else that can protect people from damage, you also have the rare ability. And I have to say rare, because I've not seen this on any other class that I have. I've even looked through Mr. Axion's classes. Every glyph of the pally is essentially useful. We don't have that on monks. If you're tanking on a monk, you need like 2 or 3 glyphs that are any good, and then you can fill the rest with like crap. As long as you have Fortifying Brew and Guard for this tier, you're good. Why do I say Glyph Guard? Easy. There's magic damage on every boss. Mercius, Protectors, like 2 or 3 or 4 different forms of magic damage on that. Norushen, constant magic damage. Shaw of Pride, constant magic damage. Galacras, the end with a dot. Juggernaut, the stacking dot. Shamans, if you're tanking the chick below, and even if you're tanking the guy above, because Frost Strike weapon is magic damage. I want to say Nazgrim, the only magic damage you really have to worry about there would be from the Arcweaver. Malkarok. Well, there's constant incoming magic damage from everything. I mean, you've got the pools, and you've got, you have to have some kind of magic mitigation just for the pool. But with there, yeah, I can understand not glyphing guard because you have that stacking debuff, and then you have the whole, annihilate, massive strike, cleave thing. Spoils, magic damage from every mob, especially the big guys. Big guys are always magic damage. Let's see. After Spoils Thok, the first stack from Thok is magic damage. And I did not know this until recently. Diffuse magic is also a dispel. And Randy took that pretty seriously when I said, just shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Shut up, Randy. Just shut up. Just shut up. I said it like that. I think he took it seriously because I did not know it and I was joking with him. It's I honestly did not know that diffuse magic was a dispel. You can be completely self-sufficient in a raid with a monk now. You don't have to count on other people for dispels. I even put it to the test in a normal Shaw Pug where I was a DPS. Always heard, oh, well, only one person can dispel because it gives you a lot of pride. I was dispelling myself the entire time. Wanna know what I ended? Highest pride? 20. If you're smart and you move out of the fucking way, you don't get high pride on that fight, even when you dispel yourself. Which brings me to the Ret Pally, because the Ret Pally has the special ability Resolve, or Absolve, and then if you choose the talent Clemency, which let's face it, if you don't choose clemency, there's something wrong. It gives you the ability to use all of your hands twice. If you use Hand of Sacrifice on a target, it dispels them. So you have 2 dispels as a rep pally. Warlocks, I swear most of the warlocks that I've seen today in that LFR were new. They were all insta-90s, and everyone's rolling a warlock because they think, oh, warlocks are super powerful right now. They've dominated the entirety of Mist Pandaria. That will not happen with warlords. That will not. They are going to bring warlocks down, especially if they keep that Charred Remains talent. If they keep the talent where it makes Chaos Bolt AoE, they're going to do something to limit the use of it. Either there's not going to be a lot of AoE in boss fights, which is apparently bad for Destro locks, because I was able to beat Mr. Bali today in DPS. Oh, yeah, that's right. I beat him in DPS. Didn't even have to cheese it. They're going to have to fix that. They've still got a lot of work to do on the talents. So many people are rolling it. Like, even Mr. iCall wanted. I think he did. I think he actually used his 90 boost on a Warlock. And he even commented 5 minutes after playing that Warlock, like, dude, I'm Destruction, and it's so easy. Yeah, you have a 3-button rotation. Welcome to the new mage. You can, well, okay, situationally, it's not a 3-button rotation. Like, if you have a bunch of AoE, you have to, essentially throw in a fire and brimstone. Otherwise, as a freaking warlock, you're just building embers for a chaos bolt. Except for shamans, where you have to add 1 button on that shaman's fight. Havoc. If you're not using Havoc, you're doing it wrong. Seriously. And like so many new people, and I think that boosted Warlock. Like, he knew he was crap. He apparently knew he was crap, and he was constantly berating me, and I had people on my side, and it was awesome. Like, guys, he's not dying. He's doing well, apparently. It's like, yeah, it's fine, fuck off. And they're just saying, well, Chaos, everyone vote to kick him. He's really bad. It's like, no, I'll shut up. Don't kick me. No, don't kick me. I'll shut up. It's like, oh, pain in the ass, man. LFR just broke my fucking heart today. It's really bad. I think it was worse than the normal pug, where I did over a quarter of the damage. Yeah. And I had to neuter myself on that Protector's fight. I had to neuter myself in the normal pug Protector's fight. Just for the simple fact of not wanting to set off the phases together. It's okay with my guild group, because we know how to handle it. Setting it off with a pug, though, never. I have to control myself. I cannot just storm earth and fire everything. What else was there? This is going to be the only video I can really upload, since I don't really want to go through the trouble of uploading stream videos. WOD release and possible fall. I think that might be a media thing. Everyone's saying, oh, they always release it around that time. No, they don't. They don't always release it around September, or always release it in December, or anything like that. The expansions have been spread out. Yeah, normally it's around the time of fall, or even winter. But you want to know something? It's not in one set point, and you can't say it's always like that. You can't. You want to know why? Oh, it's always in December. It's always in September. TBC was in January. I think Wrath of the Lich King was the only one released in December, and I can't remember when Cataclysm was, but I know that Mist was sometime around September, maybe September. Wrath was in December. TBC was in January. I think the game came out in January. But yeah, you can't really just estimate it. I'm looking at, they might just be using this as kind of like it's like, hey, we'll get it out to you as early as fall as possible. Might, hopefully, hopefully, if you have faith in your game designer, might mean August. It would hurt. It would really hurt to have to wait all the way until August. But I would be fine with an August release. And everyone's worried. They're like, oh my god, that's so long with Sue. This is perfect time to take a break, guys. Perfect time to take a break. If you can't really see much, it's perfect time to take a break or perfect time to work on getting those kills that have been eluding you. Perfect time to advance your run. Pretty good time to get those heroics. It's fine. You don't have to play constantly all the time. I think I only play on the weekends. Though now that I have my Pally, I need to start working on getting that a little geared. I really need to work. Somebody linked me, and I love that when they link your weapons, trying to insult you. Like, guys, this guy has the boosted 90 shield and a flex heirloom sword. Like, thank you for reaffirming the fact that I killed Garrosh Hellscream. Thank you for reaffirming that fact. Anybody else want to kind of question me? I will link you my heroic Norushen achievement. And I actually did that too. They were talking about Norushen. Like, oh my god, guys, you think this hard? Guys, on normal, this is kind of difficult. Like, oh, you should try heroic. Heroic's tough. Link my achievement. I'm like, yeah, I know heroic's tough, right? So sad. And then someone linked heroic Doc, and it's like, yeah, dude, get it. There are people that have done heroics here. We get why LFR is here now. It is to get gear for our alts. I am gearing my Pally alt, which eventually I'm going to bring into raids. That's why it's a good thing that Warlords isn't coming out now, because I can build on my Pally. I can build my Pally from where it is right now, which is really crappy, and it's where I'm stuck tanking until I get a two-handed sword of any kind. I will even take the 502 crafted two-hander, which I can't even make. Even take that. No problem taking a 502 crafted. Gladly take that just so I could go from Prot and be ret like I wanted. The reason why I chose Prot is because it was easier at the time for me to raise my item level faster. What do I mean by that? Well, one, I believe that the one-handed weapons that were being sold on the Timeless Isle were actually cheaper than the than to buy the two-handed polearm. I think it was only 10k in Timeless coins for one of those, which isn't even worth it. But it was because Mr. Axion had his heirloom sword and he didn't use it, and he told me that I could use it on my Pally, which meant that I immediately had a 540 sword. Killed Celestials, got my 553 leggings, got a Timeless 535 helmet, rolled into LFR and got a 528 belt, and then 528 tier piece chest. What did I do with that tier piece, you may ask? Turned it in for ret. I am not Prot. I do not run Prot any way, shape, or form. Only reason why I would ever do Prot is if it was on a fight that we needed it. Or on a fight that I kind of wanted to do because it seems fun, like Immersius, because I have something that I have to do. It's a personal thing that I have to do. It's like when you see something and you have to do it for yourself. What did I do when, I kind of got ragged on for my tanking ability? Took up the offer to tank heroics if I wasn't going to raid the week. Yeah, I guess I'll go in as tank. What did I find out? Heroics are tough. But I was able to do it, and I got called a solid tank by Mr. Super Goat, or Mrs. Super Goat, you can never tell. So, I'm going to get my Prot Valley, and I could probably do it right now, because my gear score is only 504, but I know that it doesn't hit that hard. Only problem I would have on the Immersius fight, looking towards incoming damage, would be Corrosive Blast. What do I do with Corrosive Blast? Oh my god, we totally don't have tons of cooldowns setting us up for that. Let's see, well, Corrosive Blast would kill me, so Ardent Defender may only reduce damage by 20%, but if Corrosive Blast were going to kill me, instead of killing me, it heals me. Yeah, so Corrosive Blast turns into a heal. Let's see, Divine Shield, no damage. Divine Light cuts damage down by like half. Guardian of the Ancient Kings cuts damage down by half. Uh, I don't really know anything else that there could possibly be, but that's all the cooldowns I need. I can even Hand of Salvation myself. No, not Salvation. Hand of Sacrifice? Yeah, Hand of Sacrifice. I can Hand of Sacrifice myself after I glyph it, I believe. I believe if it's glyphed, the Paladin can place Hand of Sacrifice on themselves. So I can do that. I can immediately take the hit and then lay on hands. There are so many different ways. Or like a true hardcore elitist raider, super elitist, I can look at the timer on DBM and see. Now, try to keep up. Try to keep up, guys. Try to keep up, okay? This is really, really, really complicated stuff here. I can look at that DBM timer and keep moving my character. If that's possible, to move my character out of the black goo on the ground, that is essentially the only form of incoming damage if you don't have the boss. So, yeah, if your health is ticking away, you can move, and that'll save yourself, and you don't get to blame the healers. Look at the timer. Like, oh my god, Corrosive Blast is coming. What do I do? What do I do? Well, if you have Avenging Wrath ready, you can use that and start spamming your Shield of Righteousness, or you can line up your 3-second 45% damage reduction, line that up, and use it. Use it on that attack. Or you can line up one of your other 10 cooldowns. You're freaking, oh my god, you don't even need to time it for your freaking Guardian. Like, god, oh my god. The timer says I have 10 seconds until Corrosive Blast. You can pop your Guardian and you'll have the effect for like half a minute. Or if you're super swag, you can even take 2 at my gear level just by saving Defender and Divine Shield or Divine Light, whatever is the magic damage reduction. Oh my god. Guardian of the Ancient King, Divine Light, completely covered. Yeah, because it takes so much skill. I think it actually does take skill to wipe and die on a Mercius as a prop pally. It takes skill to die on a Mercius. I've figured that out. That's essentially the consensus. Okay, that is the consensus. That it takes skill to die on a prop pally on a Mercius. It does. Rep pallies are anything but face roll. You can do things like, guys, I will press this one button and it will pop every cooldown I have. You are stupid. But it pops all my cooldowns, and I get really high numbers. But if you play smart, you'll use your Guardian while you have Inquisition up. Make sure you have Inquisition up for the full minute. Then while you have your Guardian, time it because it has that little buff that I think some people might forget about, because the longer the Guardian's out, the more of this buff you get, okay? And the buff increases your damage. Then, while you have that buff, activate Avenging Wrath, and then blow your load all over the boss. Then it's fine. It's perfectly fine to do that. But if you're just like, pop Inquisition with 1 Holy Power, pop Avenging Wrath, pop Guardian, pop all of my, pop Exorcism, pop Judgment, pop Crusader Strike, pop Execution, or whatever. It's like, no. You done goofed. You want procs. I mean, you could say, well, you don't see ret pallies with super high DPS doing that. No, but you see smart ones doing that. You see ones that know their class and know what to do. Okay, I'm telling you right now, if I'm able to get my pally as ret into a raid, into a Shaw kill, in on Shaw normal or even Shaw flex as my ret pally, I'm going to have pride. You want to know why I'm going to have pride? Because I'm going to be dispelling. I'm going to be one of those proud people that's like, hey, I'm not going to count on the one healer that gets the buff to dispel everyone. I'm going to take a little initiative. Like, hey, healer, it's fun. You don't have to dispel these people. I will do it. That's how you do it. Freaking, oh, you use execution sentence as a ret pally. Technically, yeah, but you can also use Light's Hammer and that heals a lot of people. And as a pally, there's only two ways to do it anymore. I mean, yeah, you can kind of go mastery, but not really. Otherwise, what you want to do, you want to have pure haste and gem for pure haste to keep your cooldowns ready and everything, so you can actually chain your Shield of the Righteous. You will be able to eventually chain your Shield of the Righteous. Yeah. And then there's stamina, which is more health. Just because you have so many cooldowns, you don't really have to worry about it. I mean, Garrosh will hit you for 500k normal unmitigated damage. I believe it's 500k like that unmitigated. And then you have so much passive mitigation, and then you do the active mitigation, which, just so you guys know, active mitigation is when you pop a cooldown. Still can't believe that people don't know what active mitigation is. Didn't know. Whatever, however you say that. This was supposed to be a 10-minute video. Turns out to be like 32 minutes. Want to know something? Perfectly A-okay with that. Because I have like 10 videos discussing all of these topics that I didn't upload. So, the future of my boosted pally, I'm going to say it's going to be a raiding tune. I might even end up transferring it over to Airy Peak. Just so I can get into CTR and do some raiding there. What is CTR? It is Convert to Raid and the largest guild ever. It's not one guild, it's spread between multiple guilds, all connected with the wonderful add-on Greenwall. It has multiple officers that have to turn around and do everything. It has people from the podcast and multiple raid teams. Two of them are in the Asparagus Initiative, and one of them is in Rectified, and the entirety of the raid teams spread throughout the CTR guild, the established raid teams, not counting pugs or flex groups, is over 90. Over 90. If you're just thinking that those are all 10-man, that's at least 1,000 players on Airy Peak US Alliance that raid. And Convert to Raid does this. And I'm so happy that people are taking the initiative to go raiding. I'm going to do that in Warlords especially. With my pally in Warlords, yeah. I'm going to gear up my monk first though. My monk will always be top place in my heart, as I am the one-trick pony. I'm perfectly fine with being a one-trick pony. This one-trick pony beat our top block in DPS. Granted, you couldn't really AoE in that fight. Well, you could have, but it wouldn't serve a purpose. I didn't AoE. I'm gonna take that, I'm happy about that. I'm perfectly happy with that fight. I think I did close to 300k DPS on that fight. I'm happy with it. You can say, well, it's not really, hey. I'm taking it with a pinch of salt, but the thing is, I was still top DPS. Happy with that. I was also top DPS in a pug on Thok Bloodthirsty, which is really interesting to do as melee, and it was against some decently geared alts. Though some of them were below even the tanks, which was kind of sad. And I love it, man. I love it. I love thinking about the Pally as a raid tune in Warlords of Draenor.